At the beginning of the film, we see William, a scientist who works for a company. All the scientists working there were told that the body of an army officer had been brought in. After that, all the scientists come to the laboratory. The body of an army officer was laid there, because they were planning an experiment with him. William was trying to transfer all the details out of the officer's head. Emotions, memories and other information from his brain to the robot. He plans to create a robot with a robotic body and human emotions and thoughts. William has a good friend, and with his help he can do it all. He puts everything from an army officer's brain into a robot. At the end of the experiment, they charge the robot with electricity. After a while he starts walking, as he still has all the memories of the officers. So he knows all his details and names. It was a very happy moment for them because they succeeded. He examines his own body and finds it to be that of a robot. He feels sick, starts to get nervous, and doesn't like his robot body. As a result, he destroyed this body after hitting him many times. This experiment fails here. William's boss then told him if the experiment wasn't going well in the next couple of weeks, that this company must be banned. Everyone will surely lose their jobs as a result, which is very worrying. Later, William came to his house and met his wife and his 3 children. They go on vacation. You want to leave town during the journey, night falls and it begins to rain heavily. The forward route was badly damaged, I couldn't see anything in the car's front mirror. After that, a truck arrives in front of you and you barely escape from it. As they were about to leave, suddenly a light came on in a nearby tree. So the tree fell over her car, the tree bark breaks the mirror and hits William's wife. There she dies on the spot. The car then loses its balance and is quickly headed for the pound. And 3 children die. William's entire family died before his eyes. After holding their bodies in front of him, he cries and grieves. He finally persevered and called his friend. He calls him and asks him to bring him a device that copies any part of his body. After a while he got there and he was upset and shocked to see his family in this state. William asks his friend to write out all the dates and details of his family. William's friend replies, "I'll take all the data, what do you do with it?" But William doesn't reply. William's friend then uses his machine to record all the information and memories. After receiving it, they arrive at their company's lab. William told him he wanted a clone of my family out of his body. She makes a duplicate that looks just like her. After all information has been transferred to another location, make it the same shape as last time. After hearing this, his friends banned cloning because it was illegal all over the world. But William hasn't heard anything. William's friends have to help William because they are good friends. Then start cloning. So far, no successful experiments. The details and memories of another brain can be transferred to the clone. However, William was convinced that his experiments with animals had been successful. He succeeded in transferring the memory of one animal to another. Therefore, he is convinced that it is possible to transfer human memories. And that they succeed. For clones, he needs a total of 17 days. If the company found out about this, it would be alarming. So they arrive at William's house with all the basic appliances and machinery. William asked his friends to clean up his family's bodies. William's friend has to reluctantly. Glass clone. He machine problems occur when he realizes he only has 3 boxes. We can clone from this, but William needs 4 of him. This means that one of the family members cannot be duplicated. William takes 4 pieces of paper and writes down the names of his family members. Whose name appears is not replicated. When he pulls out a piece of paper, her daughter's name appears. So she's not cloned and William is pretty mad. Because he loves his youngest daughter. After realizing the situation, he begins cloning his wife and 2 children. A friend of William's came up with a perfect plan for cloning. It took him 17 days to complete this entire process. After being cloned, they are restored to the same age they died. If the power goes out even once during cloning, William's friend will let him know. As a result, the entire experiment fails. William brought the car battery next to him, and he starts working after he consumes the power of these batteries. A friend of William's told him, "Well, let's say your plan works and the clones bring them back to life. They died in an accident because of this. They still have all the memories of their second daughter and the accident in their heads. What would you do to tell them if they asked you about it?" After much deliberation, William makes a decision. He erases all memories of the accident and his young daughter from these clones' minds. Days go by and William doesn't go to the office. For he could complete this task at any cost. When a friend of William's walked into the office, his boss asked where William was. Because his presence and work are very important. If William does not finish the work and the experiment is not successful. As a result, our company will be closed soon. William is having a hard time at home because the children's school teacher is back. His wife is a doctor, so I get a call asking why she isn't coming to work. He texts her friend from her cell phone. Let's say he arrived at his destination after a number of days. In parallel, William was also working on his previous experiments. How to find out why the army officer's robot failed. On the other hand, the company was enveloped in a depressing atmosphere. Because William was away and no one was working on the project. As a result, their business may be permanently closed. Finally, 17 days passed and a friend of William's came to retrieve the clone from the machine's box. William was not ready at this time. He told his friend that he still remembers that we put all the details on the corpse. But after they come to their senses, will they be in the state I want them to be? His friends advise him not to waste time thinking and to clone now. If not, it is because the age he has increased by more than 17 days. This will break the clone. After taking all the clones out of the machine box. After the injection they were unconscious for 3 days. He kept his hand on her hand while William's wife lost her consciousness. He notices that her brain is starting to work. If he moves his hand out of the way, it stops working. Later he understood that every component of the human brain is connected to every part of the body. Therefore, maintaining a balance between the brain and the rest of it is very important. This means that the brain and the rest of the body should have the same perspective. Army officer's experiment failed when he woke up. According to his brain, his body should be human-like. However, his brain panicked at the sight of Iron's body and lost control. As a result, he broke his body, but when he tricked his brain, your brain should have already been taught that your body is made of steel. As a result, he becomes less insecure and embraces his body instead. When he put his hand on his wife's hand, her brain and mind worked together. My brain started working normally. After she was unconscious for 3 days, he made and confirmed her brain map. He later erases the memory of the incident and his youngest daughter from her mind. After regaining their senses, they look exactly the same as before. Treat William the way you used to in her life. They don't remember anything about their youngest daughter. This made William very happy. Finally, William accomplished what seemed impossible. William then goes to the office to complete this army officer's experiment. But this time, I couldn't use the military robot brain. Because his mind already knew he had a human body, so he needs a new brain, and after creating his own brain map starts checking him. The amazing thing was that he could control his mind. William's wife, on the other hand, often becomes uneasy. In her dreams she often imagined the image of her daughter. She often asks William about her youngest daughter, but he always ignores this. Not only that, but William's eldest daughter is having a nightmare. She finds herself in a car accident in which her mother is killed. As a result, she wakes up startled. William then approaches her and reveals to her that she was a dream, so there was no need to be afraid. William suspects there is something wrong, so he stunned her daughter and, after hooking her up to her machine, began checking her mind map to see if she still has memories of the accident in her head. In the meantime, her wife shows up and she is shocked to see this. Ask him what you're doing and what's going on here. William reluctantly has to tell her all this. He tells her that there have been several accidents that have killed the 3 of you. And after cloning you, I installed all your memories into your brain. Hearing this, she gets angry and starts crying. She is sad to learn that she is not human but just a clone. She later accepts this bitter truth after meeting her children. The next day their boss came to their house and said to him, "From your accident to the family clones you made, I know everything. If someone knows that the whole family is clones, it is very concerning for our company." Later he threatened him and said, "I needed this device. If you don't use what you used to clone them, it will kill your family." Hearing this, William says, "Okay, wait, I'll bring the device." William plots against him and stuns him after attacking him. He later set the device on fire after putting it in an oven. From there, he takes his family and begins his escape. However, his boss also brought along his companions, so, after seeing how they feel, they start chasing William and his family. They've come a long way and I'm still chasing them. Later, William could not understand why this happened. He later recalls cloning his wife and children. With the help of machines, silver shards were inserted into their bodies. Because of this, they hunted while plugging these silver pieces into their devices. And these silver shards cannot be easily removed. His wife was a doctor and asked William to come to her clinic. After they got there, William's wife burned her children's silver coins out of the stream. Afterwards, with William's help, she burns her own silver coin and escapes from there. Now they are making plans. If you have any problems, they flee from here on William's friend's boat. So they came to the place where the ship was. A friend of the boss also arrived there. Except for William, he was some distance away, so eventually they caught them. They later accept her into their company, and after a while William gets there too. A friend of William's was also there and was threatened by his boss. Because of this, he tells his boss all about William. William's boss then demands this device from William again. When William refuses to provide the device, his boss shoots his friend dead. An innocent man dies for helping his friend William. After seeing this, William gets scared and creates and gives his boss a new device. However, his boss has bad intentions for him. When he gets his hands on the device, he wants to kill William's family. Meanwhile, a steerable robot made by William arrives there. Once there, he begins killing a man after attacking him. All his people start attacking him with guns to stop him. Bullets have no effect on him. In this situation, William gets a chance and runs away from it. Later he goes to this office and finds out that the robot is trying to kill his boss. But after getting there he stopped the robot. Later his boss told William that I would die, but my men won't stop hunting you. Here William offers him a deal to bring you back to life with a clone. But in return you must free me and my family. Meanwhile he agreed and said goodbye, saying that he would see you soon. He later dies saying this. Later he goes to clone, but his robot tells him that you have done a lot for me. You gave me new life so you can go with your family and I'll see all this and clone your boss. William then goes from there after taking his family from there. After that, 17 days later, a clone of his boss was also completed. This clone and William's robot later worked together after creating many successful clones. They made a lot of money from it. I have a new business. We later found out that William's family was having fun at the beach. William also cloned his youngest daughter. Her family was very happy as a result. And the movie ends with this happiness. Thank you very much.